the Sam H. Sharks here, just such a key hero for TNC, and they are going to go Wisp Fen. I really wonder, though, I'm still waiting to see, not going to happen now. I was waiting to see the Sam H. Axe, because that's his other hero besides Darkseer that I think is really strong, but after a Clockwork first pick, I think Axe is pretty dicey.
Hey, you never know. The new Axe seems pretty ridiculous, but okay.
We're going to get to see a Tim's Earth Spirit.
Now, I love Earth Spirit, all right?
Yes,
I got to say, 7.06 is a nerf to Earth Spirit overall.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, people are like, oh, it's a freebie, you get the grip, but that's level 25. Even if you're having a decent support game, you're lucky to get you'll get your Ags usually around level 18, so you normally would get it much earlier. Maybe you change up the core a bit, and later on you get a refresher and actually take advantage of the multiple stones. I mean, not to like make a magnetize last forever, but having those extra utilities, sometimes you get into fight situations and you only have one stone and you can't really make a lot out of it. So it could be a bit of a game changer, but I don't know. Overall, Earth Spirit has definitely fallen off with Monkey King kind of coming on the rise. It just seems like when Earth Spirit can't get a lot going in the early game, he has nowhere to go after that. He can't farm, and you just have to hope that when it becomes team fight time and magnetize, you can make a lot happen.
But I feel like this is the patch where you want Earth Spirit back, because the mid lane, if you just keep camping in that lane, suddenly you have a big lane disparity there, allowing your mid laner to pull ahead. And we've seen what Cuckoo could do when he has the edge. Now the question is, Shadow Fiend's banned out. That was what I was going to ask. Are they going to take out the Shadow Fiend to prevent that combination? Because last game, what was it, 12, 15 soul, he came out, extra 30 damage or so.
It's
and
so cheesy.
Yeah, but you know what? That is very true, but at the same time, you saw the level at which Unison Fan can play that Clockwork. I mean, that 15-minute fight in the Radiant Jungle, essentially turning 1 kill into 3 for Alliance, it had such a huge effect on the momentum of that game. We are, by the way, going to get to see more than likely an EGM Rubik here. That's one of only a handful of player-hero combinations in the pro scene to post 100 wins on that hero alone. He is 104 and 51 on Rubik in his career.
EGM has a long history of playing this hero and had stand-up performances, and maybe since then people have always been like, oh, the Kuro God Rubik and the FY God Rubik, but EGM is a super stable player, and he'll probably surprise a lot of people in this game.
And I feel like, I'm glad you brought up the EGM statistic, because a lot of times Alliance would just pick up the Rubik, even though there aren't like amazing spells to steal. If you look at this game, I mean, a lot of Earth Spirit stuff, you don't really operate well unless you have a stone, which technically you could kick his stone around, but you got to have some sick positioning for that.
Rubik's probably not going to bother.
Yeah. I mean, if you get Ice Path, that's great, but the way that Theben has been playing it, he's maxing Liquid Fire first, and then he's going back for most likely Dual Breath. Ice Path wasn't really taken up till he's like level 12, 13, 14, so it's going to be a while till Rubik has a very good spell to have access to.
Get a good ganker, and Nullfield's nice to have against both Jakiro and Earth Spirit. I know it's not the highest percentage, but it's a little bit of something that helps.
I definitely like the bans coming out from TNC. I think Enchantress was absolutely the right ban there. Alliance has a very strong preference for running Clockwork in the 3 position, so you still do have another support pick open.
Oh, dude, if he ever gets Macropyre plus Clockwork Cogs,
that's pretty scary.
I mean,
actually.
Boboka gave him the...
yeah, you saw that. You saw that combo with different teams earlier.
This hero actually ends up through talents having very nice cast and attack range, and this is similar to their Game 1 draft philosophy. I wouldn't be too surprised to see some kind of double roam coming out from these heroes.
Yes.
We saw Jakiro use well the first time, and then Lycan, of course, giving them, he didn't skill Howl until very late in the first game. If he does go for that, gives them a bit more brawling potential. If not, obviously they have the towers and the mobility. And that was the weakness we saw of the Clockwork. I think IG used it in the first game against TNC as well. If you start to lack this kind of hard control that can pin someone down, a hero like Lycan with only a Rubik and Clockwork right now, as any methods of control, can really just run around and wreak havoc. If this Dazzle wants to sit in the back line and be able to protect the core, you could have a Lycan up in his face very quickly.
Yeah, the one thing I'd add to that, though, is that the double roam that you're talking about in that previous THD game, it was really enabled by the fact that they ran an aggro tri-lane and got off to a huge start top. And so those two heroes were free to move around the map. If Alliance can really focus, Dazzle is a strong defensive laner. If Alliance can really focus on holding them down early in the laning phase, those two supports are going to have a lot less mobility.
And then the other part of that was that Darkseer in that game was forced to jungle at minute 1. Then, the support didn't have to stay in the bottom lane, allowing the offensive tri-lane. I think Clockwork is going to warrant some attention on the bottom because the Cogs harassing the Lycan is going to be pretty annoying for Raven.
Speaking of Darkseer, I bet TNC might consider grabbing one. Oh, they banned it, that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, it would have been such a great Darkseer game. For Spirit and Lycan Wolves, of course, but Yeah, puts more extra tension on what they want to get for the off lane then to make up for that.
Yeah, that's really got to be the key pick the TNC is looking at right now. Sam H, such a huge key to their success in terms of his initiation, and the Axe not the optimal hero here, so we're going to have to see what they go for him.
Beastmaster for heavy push with the Lycan, Vision.
It's not very much so his playstyle though. I'm more leaning towards the Axe. Oh, Bat Rider.
Yeah, Bat, okay.
There you go. You can now not miss when you're fireflying because you're a flying unit. Thanks, Ice Frog.
Seems good.
Which ironically, Jakiro will miss attacking uphill with Liquid Fire even though he's flapping his wings.
And it particularly the Bat Rider is nice here because of course Alliance took the OD off the table for you, which the Banish is one of the classic Bat Rider counters.
And they've already committed on the Alliance side their 2 supports, and both these are not the best against the Bat Rider. All right, this is an old Alliance staple.
Yes,
won
step
them
into the
I think
Wayback
this won them a
Machine.
TI at one point.
Yes, it
Chaos
did.
Knight.
Yes, it did. So I think this is actually going back to Jack's point that he made earlier. If you lack the control against Lycan, he will run circles around you and kill your supports in the back line. And CK is one of those heroes that could really impact on that like 1-2 seconds of disable, and he will just kill you, especially when you have the weave, when you have the heal bomb to back up those illusions. I could actually see Lycan just dying, especially when if he's in human form without the Howl bonus.
Yeah, also a very underrated buff to that hero, the improvement of the cast point on Reality Rift. That was one of the spells that, you know, you play CK and it's like half the game you hear half that sound effect because it's so easy to get fogged casting that spell.
Oh, the little
especially
horse
on,
going,
yeah, the little half a
Yeah.
day, right? And especially on Lycan when he's running away. But between the stun and the fact that that spell now has a better cast point, I think you're going to be more likely to get the illusions onto Lycan.
What about the shortcomings of Chaos Knight, and are they still there?
Mana,
I remember
mana,
people,
and mana.
yeah, mana. A lot of people talk about how he doesn't really farm the best, and he usually has to play around his ulti a lot. Are those still, you know, pretty relevant problems for him?
I think the biggest worry right now is TNC. The biggest thing you have to worry about as Alliance is that TNC takes Medusa 5th and runs Cuckoo Medusa mid, which we've seen them do, because that can be a real problem for the CK illusions.
Yeah, also with like the relative lack of damage coming out from your supports and rotational ability, if you do run something like a Medusa, which might go a little bit against their game plan, be very difficult to harass, I think, for Alliance. So Lina kind of shores that up a little bit, gives them some tempo, but I think it would be an issue if they're looking to run a bit of a greedier core in this mid.
Yeah, I still think that they have it because of all the team fight that they have, the team fight abilities that they have behind the Jakiro and the Earth Spirit, with the Bat Rider laying down the Firefly. I think you have enough to put enough damage to put down in the mid game under a Stone Gaze that you can get away with Medusa still being reasonable tempo wise.
I want to see a Razor, dude. I know this is like probably a really bold call, but Razor's getting secret lovin'. He's a great mid lane dominator. There's going to be only so many options left to take on the Lina. TA,
Okay,
though.
TA. All right,
Great
all right.
option. Physical burst. All right, all right.
It's probably a little bit more stable. Cuckoo hugely confident in that hero, and you've seen a lot of games where that TA, even if Lina's ahead, the TA can still just blow her up in the mid game. All right, guys. Game 1, last series of the day here. This is for a spot in the semifinals. Who have you got?
Start with Jack.
I'm until I see it otherwise, I still like TNC's current form right now, so I'm gonna go with TNC for game 1.
I'm going to go Alliance. I feel like TNC always pushes without Jakiro. Jakiro is going to go up to the tower, and he's going to get Reality Rifted, and he's going to get blown the hell up by the Laguna Blade. I think Alliance is going to start the 5v4 every single time, and they're going to blow up TNC.
I will go with TNC on this one. I feel like their push will be successful and will be able to play around the CK and avoid those reality rifts.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with the majority of you. I'm going to have TNC. I think that CK is very vulnerable to a slow start in the laning phase. He's a hero that if he falls behind in the early game has a horrible time catching up. But this is going to be a close one. 2 good teams for a spot in the semis. Last series of the day. Let's throw it over to our casters. Here are Lyrical and Merlini.
Oh my goodness gracious. Merlini, we're here. There's lights going on. There's numbers counting down. Dota 2 is about to be played. TNC versus Alliance. I don't think a lot of people would have expected that this was the match that we were going to see at the end of the day today.
Especially not the Chinese fans. There's no one here. They'll all be here tomorrow, though, for that lower bracket match.
Yeah, well, day after for the lower bracket.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
day after for the lower bracket.
there'll be a couple more. Newbee's going to be here tomorrow as well as some more. But right now it's TNC versus Alliance. And, you know, this is a couple of teams right here that can get incredibly aggro in the early stages. You talked a little about you were expecting the TA pick. Do you think that that's going to take him over the edge?
It's rough versus CK. It's a weird matchup, I think.
Okay.
Because you can't really kill the CK illusions. You're not particularly good at dealing with illusions. I think Batrider is probably the hardest hero to play in this game of all 10 heroes. Batrider has an insanely difficult job of just doing everything. You have to control so many heroes, and then you have to deal with Rubik Lift, you have to deal with like CK perhaps pulling you in to the fight too, but that's like their main initiator in the fight. Sam H.
What a guy. He's definitely been like the playmaker for this team. We've seen him play a lot of Nyx Assassin as well that make things work for him. You know, I was casting a lot of games with Ryu leading up to this, and he was talking about the matchup of Lina versus TA and just how in the mid game sometimes the TA can just find multiple kills on her and is sort of a strange pseudo counter just by being able to blow her up.
I think TA is a pretty decent counter versus Lina. A medium counter, not a hard counter, not a soft counter, somewhere in between. It's okay in lane, I would say. Not terribly great because of the Fiery Soul, but later game, you can't Yo's combo. It's just really difficult to get a lot of damage on the T. And also, Lina has really low armor, so you just die 1 or 2 hits.
Well, here we are. Alliance heading through for a little bit of aggression into the jungle, potentially. And Tim's is here. He's actually on the low ground. If they end up walking back up this hill with the Tim's Earth Spirit, or maybe just go in for a little bit of a catch, Raven, is he going to get spotted here? They have telekinesis, lift back as well. They're going to steal the bounty rune, but now they end up getting caught as well. A lot of damage onto Raven. They might be able to bring him down. A couple more right clicks. Are they going to be able to be there in range? And, well, Raven's still running away. It does look like it's barely. Well, he gets the salve off. The stun comes out, and Loda draws first blood. EGM trying to get away as well. Cuckoo trying to run him down. He is going to get brought down as well, so trading to kill 1 for 1 so far. And now the roll comes out as well onto Handskin. All hell just breaking loose right before the horn. TNC find 2 kills, but they still get first blood on Alliance.
And they do get the bounty rune, so it wasn't the worst thing. Oh, wait, actually, Raven picked it up. Wow, that was bold.
Oh, what a guy.
Yeah, he ran in there, but he did get heal bombed by 3 heroes. Would you do that play, Lyrical?
I mean, I always do that play, but I usually don't get the bounty rune.
Yeah, that's pretty bold by him. At the same time, Limp was able to get a way better block off in the middle lane.
So starting off the lane in a pretty good position, at least for now, Limp, and see how it can handle it. What do you think about this aggressive tri-lane that's going on for Alliance? It feels like, you know, Heal Bomb with all these heroes here, Reality Rift seems it could be some danger for TNC.
Dude, Rubik Dazzle is their bread and butter. And they always use that with pretty much any hero in the tri-lane. They like it with Naga Siren in particular, but CK kind of, I guess, more in style this patch because Naga Siren has been hit pretty darn hard.
We also do see that there was that ward place down we talked about a little bit earlier. Maybe going to make things a little bit easier for this, you know, Lina in the laning stage. We'll see how that ends up working out as Sam H as well is just getting his farm there. It does leave the one-on-one matchup here of Batrider versus Clock as well.
Cuckoo's very low. Oh my god.
Ooh, a little bit of a scary moment there in the mid lane. Cuckoo able to walk away. He is still having himself kind of a rough time. 4-0 so far as they get another lift back on the Jakiro and the 2-second stun. This one might end up beating him down again. 1437 trying to make the escape. There's one miss uphill and does barely manage to get himself away.
Man, this Howl is so good at saving these heroes. Oh my goodness. But the amount of damage coming out from this lane is quite staggering. Lotus out of mana though, so they're safe for quite some time. But TNC is under pressure, way more so than their earlier series today.
Cuckoo, he's just standing there waiting for Limp to try and throw one of those so you can throw the refraction up.
He has no refraction up.
Oh my goodness. What?
Yep.
What?
He's skilled up the Dragon Slave. He didn't expect it, and he thought he could Fairy Fire in time, but he wasn't able to Fairy Fire.
All right, well, I mean, these things happen throughout the course of a game. Certainly not what you would have wanted, and trying to like go for the most min-max possible. Ends up getting punished pretty heavily there.
Yeah, that's where the Shrine change is really big. Like, he would have just been able to go back and Shrine if it were in the last patch, but probably not too used to it. Like, the mid laners have to adapt and get more reach than they had to before.
Well, tough one. Tim's coming in. He wanted to, I guess, contest for making a move towards the mid lane. They scouted out, and they can't really do much. Loda just taunting away here at Theban. Make sure he knows who's boss in this lane. And, you know, another Light Strike ends up connecting. Cuckoo does have the refraction starting to wear down, and Will be forced back again, pops that salve.
Yeah, Limp's owning him pretty badly. The illusion rune certainly helps. Probably one of the best runes that you can actually get on Lina at this phase in the game.
Oh my god, EGM just gonna dive tower for this one, and this might end up being another kill. Cuckoo, Fairy Fires, trying to get away, just barely get the refraction off. But, I mean, is he gonna, he's so far away from his bottle, he might have to go home.
Or bait out.
Tim's a little bit off the mark with the roll, but manages to find the kick, and Limp gets the Light Strike Array, trying to walk away. There is still no Shrine here, but he might be able to bottle himself up to make the escape. They bring in 2 to ensure that Limp does not die, and they just find the kill onto Tim's as well. 3 kills early on. Limp is having a hell of a game.
Yeah, he didn't even get the rune at 4 minutes. If the rune had spawned right there, like a regen, oh my goodness, would the laning stage be rough for TNC. But they're going to have to rely on, I would say, a lot more ancient stacking for Cuckoo if they want him to get back in this game. I don't think they play very well with him this far behind, especially when Raven's getting pressured by the CK lane. So yeah, this is not so good for Cuckoo. And they need stacks for old Batrider. Batrider been pretty quiet. He has gone for the arcane boots early.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah,
curious.
this is a really tough situation to be in too as well. I mean, because like in certain way he wants to be able to farm and keep the pressure on the lane up there, the Batrider, and it just feels like they need so much on all of their cores, and they're not able to get almost anything out of the lane stage. I mean, you've completely forced everybody out of the bottom lane at this stage. Lycan's jungling.
Yeah. In the top lane, though, you still have Batrider doing decently. He has a TP scroll in case things get a little bit hairy. I think once he gets level 6, he can TP down bottom and destroy these heroes. He's very good versus Grave, very good versus CK before he has his level 6.
Oh, man, and this hurts right here. EGM just soaking up all of Raven's experience, and I mean, we saw that Lina's also about to get to level 6 as well relatively soon here. I'm wondering where we see the sort of movement around the map for her if she just keeps dominating the lane. Up top here, they might be able to bring down Jonas. This would be a big kill for TNC, and they are able to find it. That rotation coming in from the Jakiro, and mid lane a little bit off the mark with that Light Strike Array. Cuckoo gets the refraction burn. The Tim's rotation means that Lions can't really charge for it.
That was really close. TA, no refraction charges against a Laguna Blade that would be coming out from the Lina. And Limp is 1 full level ahead, and Cuckoo is just eating slave after slave.
Man, a tough situation. Oh, I like this as well. Raven going for the deny on his Wolves, getting that little bit of extra experience. You'll love to see that. So, now building for the treads, Limp is. 1437 is wrapping around. Actually drew the aggro from the Ancients, and a stun to follow if they wanted to go for it. Light Strike Array manages to hit, and, well, now Laguna Blade turning it back around. They find the stun again. Limp is still being chased, but you do have Handskin in the area as well, and that rotation is not going to succeed. TNC still struggling to find these meaningful kills and stop the snowball from Alliance.
And if he had drums there, it would have been probably a kill, but nope. He has still the Arcane. Arcane is just very strange on Batrider. Aether's pretty good, but generally you need like the Blink or Force Staff first. And I guess ever since the nerf of the Shrine, you again need to go for more regen. So another adaptation to 7.06.
Jonas just going to go for a straight-up run at 1437. They're going to bring him in, and nice kick away, but he has hookup, trying to run down the Jakiro now. Tim's wanted to make some good plays, but now he's in a little bit of trouble. EGM, can they run this guy down? You have boots up, but it looks like Sam H is going to come in and put a kibosh to it. Almost finds the kill onto Tim's, and now they end up pushing the Batrider to the low ground as well. Jakiro comes back in, wanting a little bit of revenge for his recent death. Light Strike Array, stun. They do find that kill.
Yeah, Jakiro is so low level at this point that he was just back so quickly. They also nerfed an early death goal too, so he didn't even lose that much. Much better for them to kill the level 6 Clockwork.
Yeah. You do have to be careful with that sort of comeback mechanic that ends up coming about as Raven, they pop the ulti from Loda.
Only one illusion.
Yeah, that doesn't feel great. Although it might be enough if they think about diving this. Oh, Wolves to block it off. Oh, nice play by Raven there to keep himself alive. And now Tim's rolling in. They do have initiation if they want to go for it, but it looks like they're just going to hold on for the moment.
Lina is circling around. All they need is a stun on someone, and they are going to get crushed.
Oh, God. They just finished the Midas as well for Loda. They're moving in onto Raven. They have all the vision in the world. You can try and hide the best of your ability, but they will kill you off even without the Laguna Blade use. Alliance are just dominating this early game.
They cannot defend towers. Where is their anti-push? It's pretty much just going to come out from 1437, who is going to try and try to push top at the same time. He does max liquid fire as he hits level 5. But
oh, hook shot in towards mid. They found Cuckoo. He's caught in the cogs. Limpus here now as well. They're going to be able to burn through all those refraction. And again, saving that Dragon Slave. Like they can just keep the momentum going here.
Cuckoo is feeding. This is feeding territory, I would say, with like just how underfarmed he is at the moment. Still need more stacks.
So what's the play at this point? Because your early game has not gone the way it wanted it to. 1437 is getting some split push moving, but it just feels like there's nowhere to farm, even though there's so many camps around the map. Nowhere is safe.
You need to use the wolves. You have the wolves and the TA traps to scout out, but
yeah, this could be the way to make it turn back around now. They have found Loda, and this is going to be a big old kill going their way. Tims ends up picking it up, and now the rolling boulder forward. Not going to be able to break that TP as Dazzle does get away.
yeah, they can just go for pickoffs like this with the Bat Rider. Bat Rider does not have Blink. He went for the drums first, but he's still going to be able to do a lot of work without it. And then play safely around the TA traps, so you force them to smoke to gank your neutrals or ancients or whatever, and then you have the Lycan to scout out with the wolves.
Oh no.
But they're not scouting out.
Yeah, he ended up getting caught here, and well, there's the rolling boulder. I don't know if it's going to be enough EGM. They get the lift back. Battery assault is still there. Can they find enough damage in time? It doesn't look like it. So TNC get away with that one. Everybody escaping.
His wolves are just dying nonstop. And a lot of the times, it's just absolute hell playing Clockwork versus a Lycan because the wolves are always blocking you, but not this game. I've seen Raven with better wolf micros, so I think he's just trying to prioritize his farming instead because he feels like he's very underfarmed, which he is.
Yeah. Well, and you do have like this Lina and the CK that are very far ahead, though, like you mentioned, the Bat Rider's still getting a good amount, and Cuckoo is sort of catching up in spite of all those deaths, at least a little bit. When does this start to turn around? Are there any like big level 6s that you feel like change the dynamic?
They play better.
They just need to play better.
Scout better.
Okay.
Scouting is super important here. If they don't scout with the wolves, they're just going to constantly get jumped through like CK, like one stun and you're dead. You don't have any really good saves. I guess Earth Spirit Boulder Smash is like okay. You don't have a Grave, you don't have a Defensive Disruption, you don't have Astral, you don't have anything like that. So you just need to avoid getting caught initially by the stun. You can't have 2 or 3 people getting hooked by the hook shot. Ideally, Clockwork doesn't even get the hook shot off at all. It gets blocked by someone, but like all these maneuvers by Yonasan Fan is just destroying them.
Yeah, and they have found Cuckoo again. He has that refraction up, so we'll be fine for the moment. The stun goes down to Sam H, but it looks like Alliance now do need to back out. They can't really take the fight underneath the Tier 2 towers, all that bonus armor and such.
And a little bit closer to Shrine. They don't know when it's going to be up. It is up in 15 seconds time, but you just don't want to take that risk.
Okay, so we're seeing, you know, also some Ancient stacks were going on there as well for the Radiant. You can see as well now Cuckoo is going to start to burn through these. And I'm sort of seeing a path to victory for them again, or at least back into this game a little bit. But it looks like Alliance, they just want to keep the pressure on. And they go immediately here. 1437, he's caught out. They have the jump as well. Sam H is going to be pulled back into those cogs as the chase is going to commence. Can they find any kills here? Macropyre down. Jonas is going to end up being underneath this. He does get graved as they walk away. Tim's looking for an opening. Might be able to find it. Rolling boulder forward. Doesn't quite manage to get to the high ground. And Alliance might just get out of this. EGM does die to Cuckoo. But again, you maybe wanted a little bit more out of that.
They didn't have any follow-up. It was a little bit far. It wasn't that long of a hook shot, but none of the heroes wanted to stay that close to the tower, especially against a Bat Rider. Like, you want to turn around, your turn rate's all screwed up. And TNC playing very well as a ball right now.
Yeah. Feels like they recognize the problems of that laning stage, broke it down, and now are starting to, you know, get back to what they need to do. Next couple minutes here as Alliance, what do you need to do to try and secure the little bit of a lead that you had built up? Is it sort of go for pick-off plays, or do you need to just sort of split push now that TNC is sticking more together?
I think they should blow through a lot of their smokes right now. The problem right now, if you're Alliance, if you lose 1 or 2 fights in the next 5-10 minutes, you're going to lose Roche very, very quickly. And although they do have the clockwork hookshot in the rocket to kind of defend the pit, it's not going to be good enough versus TA and versus Lycan. There is no armlet and no lifesteal coming out from Lycan, so Roshan not going to be that big of a deal, but I still think they just have to always worry about it, and that's the easy ticket back to TNC's game. So blow through all your smokes, get a little bit more map control, and kind of place yourself forward into this position so that TNC can't just do Roche or take a fight around there and win it.
Well, and you talked about scouting with Wolves. You can see now that Clockwork is going to be hounded by 2 of them right all around him. It does look like there's going to be a tower taken down by 1437, kind of a freebie in the mid lane there.
That is not a tower you want to give up, especially when you have TA on the opposite side. Because now it just allows her to farm Ancients a lot more easily. And there's a DD on top, 1437. Is he going to save it for anyone? She might just be able to do Roche with that and the Wolves, I would say.
Jonas might have found somebody here. There's a Centaur that was blocking him for a moment, but they don't decide to go in fully for it. Cuckoo's down here in the bottom as well. So doesn't look like they have interest to go into the Roche pit as of yet. It does feel like TNC have been able to really recover what was a bit of a devastating start for them, and never too far away in terms of kills, but at least in terms of the way the objectives were going, it's not even a little bit of a net worth lead into their favor.
The kills are coming very slowly. I think Howl makes the kills a lot more difficult. Something that should be a guaranteed kill, like a Lina combo onto a support, is not a guaranteed kill during nighttime with Howl.
Right.
It's just something that takes a very long time to get used to, I would say, especially with raindrops. No one's dying, really.
So Loda looking for a little bit of an initiation here, is bringing down that Earth Spirit very quickly. Good kick away and then into the roll. It's going to keep alive Tim's. And something we haven't talked about a ton, but CK getting out of control, got that Midas really early, has now been able to build into an armlet. How hard is this hero getting farmed up now going to be for TNC to deal with?
All on Bat Rider. If you can get him low enough to the point where his illusion just burned down very easily, like if he's at half HP before armlet pops, then you're in a pretty good spot. But if he's able to get the jump and pop Reality Rift, and then pop Reality Rift, like, let's say on a Bat Rider who lassos someone else, then you're going to lose the fight pretty handily if you're TNC. So I would say, yeah, mostly just depends on Bat Rider. A lot of vision. Definitely Lycan going to be imperative.
They do have Dazzle in the area here to try and save, and, well, they don't even end up using the Grave on him. Cuckoo's just going to bounce back. They do not want to try and take this fight, as looks like Alliance are going to be able to get a freebie. And I guess that's another thing to talk about a little bit. Alliance in that game earlier with Clockwork, where they ended up doing so well, they had the vision advantage, and in this one, it might not so much be the case. You've got Bat Rider, you give a little bit there, TA traps, as you were mentioning, and the Wolves. It could end up slowing down the pace of Alliance's game a little bit and cause issues when they try and secure these later game objectives.
That's why Loda has the Midas.
Radiant's middle tower is
Certainly can keep that very high level of farm going, and this is certainly a hero also that can just get completely out of control. Love that Reality Rift addition as well now, getting that minus armor. So those illusions are going to really benefit from that, and of course dealing damage with the Dazzle, minus armor as well. It's going to be hard to deal with for TNC.
Lina went for Yules, so she has no armor. She has a little bit of HP from the treads, but ooh, same age.
A little bit of a catch there. Ends up getting him in the cogs in spite of missing that hook shot, and now Limp coming in as well. They try and go for that Flaming Lasso to bring him down. Sam H still alive for the moment. Is he actually going to be able to get out of this one? Cuckoo looking for that initiation. Nowhere to go at this point. Jonas in no man's land and is going to fall.
Dang, that Bat Rider is so tanky. What the heck?
And he's getting closer to that Blink Dagger as well, only about 150 gold away. And now, 17 minutes into the game, 7-7. Loda's still topping that net worth. Do they need to try and focus on finding kills on him, or do you think sort of just play with what comes to you?
I would be looking for any Roach opportunity possible for them. Especially a Clockwork like Wasted Rocket, I think they could take it very, very easily. They just need the Dezo up on TA, but looks like they're going to try and take a fight before that. There is no lasso. Limp has TP to the Shrine, and they are a little bit vulnerable right now. He hasn't walked over a trap yet, but looks like they will spot him mid as they all go top. Loda in a bad spot.
Yeah, this one could be rough right here. There's the rolling boulder forward. Does manage to pop the ulti. Turns to fight. 1437 brought down before he can cast anything beyond a macro pyre. And, well, the Genkies become the Gankers. And they end up taking a double kill on Loda. That hurts.
Yep. You got that reality drift off.
They got Cuckoo as well. The Eul Scepter, good blink away there. Able to make the escape. They're still chasing, and it does look like those blink daggers will keep them alive for the moment. That was really close, though.
And you can see how difficult it is for them to kill the Chaos Knight. They really needed a lasso there, but they were trying to hit the timing where Alliance weren't actually expecting it. But as soon as he gets a reality drift off, it's just very, very difficult. He has so much armor with the armlet.
Oh, well, there's the catch onto one. They do have Tim's there as well. The stun comes out from the land on EGM, though, and still trying to control here onto this limp Lina. Lifted up with the Euls, about to be brought down as well by Cuckoo. That's what we were talking about with the semi-counter in that mid-game. Very little armor on that hero.
Yep, and it's just rough whenever you get lassoed. And Raven already starting off Roach. All they need is one pick, and Clockwork is he just used Rocket Flare.
Oh, no. I mean, they do seem to know that it's going on right now, as there were a couple of pings that were heading that way from Alliance. They might try and make this movement over, and looks like he will send out that rocket, revealing what's happening. It's really low, though, and TNC already in a position. Can they interrupt this at all? They jump in. They try and find it. They're able to take the Aegis. Jonas with the plays, but is it going to be enough? They're trying to run away now. EGM, he's already backing out. Is going to be controlled here. Lassoing. Rubik actually lassoed Batrider. All right, lift up now down again. Alliance still taking this fight, and Loda's doing a ton of damage. They end up kicking him actually out of the pit. Lift up now onto Cuckoo. Still not looking great. Alliance have lost 4. And Limp also may be in a little bit of trouble here as well. Slowed down for the moment. Sticky Napalm is there. The stun comes out, forced to dodge it. Can they chase us any further? A great fight coming out from TNC as they get a wipe on Alliance.
My God, what a fight from TNC right there. That was a great hook shot and a steal, but at the same time, his teammates were not ready. I think there were like 2 people there when they started off the fight, and they continued to trickle in. And of course, fighting Batrider and THD around the pit is not ideal. When CK jumped inside the pit, he stood in the macropie for a good 5-6 seconds, I would say. And they're all napalmed, and there's just very limited mobility around all those chokes. You're standing in double fire.
Right. Yeah, it's so much damage.
Fire bad. Hot. Do not get close. Run away now.
Didn't we see that earlier too? Like a team fight where they just stood in the macro pyre against IG?
The thing is, like, in Roshan, where are you supposed to fight? Like, macro pyre pretty much is the entire width of the pit. So you can't, you could just not go in there, I guess, but then you don't do any damage.
All right. Yeah, it's a hard problem. Oh, they have found Raven here, but oh my God, Hanskett just eliminated, and Loda trying to stun to get away. They are going to be able to slow him down to about half HP. Raven going to chase this. Jonas is in the area as well. Might have to give his life to save the day, and they actually end up interrupting the Batrider. A big stun comes out. Limp able to take down one. Can he kill off Raven as well? The Eul Scepter lift up. Cuckoo is still there as well, trying to bring down and kill off this Lina, but they've already taken the Lycan. Another stun comes in. Tim's to save the day, at least slightly. Rubik ends up running away, is in that ulti form, but it didn't end up saving him. Ice Path a little bit off the mark, still able to force Jonas to the low side of this little initiation, and it does look like they're going to be able to get out. Oh, the kick! Oh my God, Tim's, what a player! Chasing it down and killing off that Clockwork.
Damn, Tim's Earth Spirit. He's just done so many things this game. Kicked the CK out of the pit to save Raven, kicked him past the cogs so they could kill the Clockwork. Like, what on earth? And off the back of that, Cuckoo, he was what 0-2. Now he's 11-2. He's beyond God. Like, he didn't even get the Aegis.
Cuckoo is a player. He's insane, and that's the other thing too, is that in a certain way, like, losing the Aegis there is bad, but it's not as bad as not killing Roshan, right? Because now they're going to have access to that cheese here with the second round of Roche, even though they still contain and control all the map.
And now you're seeing the problem of they can't actually get the TA refraction down very fast. Like, nothing takes it down in like 1 second's time. Ideally, you have like Ion Shell, Firefly. Like, these sort of spells are just great at eliminating the refraction stacks. But CK hits like even if you use your reality rift, you're still blocking like a good 500, 600 damage with the refraction. Lina, her attack speed's like okay and decent right now, but she actually went for the cast range build and the cast range on Aether Lens, so no survivability really.
That's tough, and it just feels like it's such a clear draft what TNC want to do. Just move around the map, take these objectives, use the minus armor and fights to their advantage.
And they're using the wolves a lot better now.
Yeah. That's a really, I mean, you know, such a not necessarily small thing, but to have the presence of mind to get more vision with those units and make better use of them. Certainly well done by Raven. Mask of Madness armlet build. Love it on that Lycan. So 17-11, a pretty big score increase. Alliance have to know that TNC are gearing up for another Roshan when it pops. How do you sort of move around the map now for Alliance? What's the big play that they need to make?
Roshan's too far away for them to worry about that. They just need to think about how they want to win the team fight. Like, who do they want to jump? Do they want to bait out a lasso and then counter-initiate with Clockwork on the back line and then lift the bat? Do they want to get the jump first with the CK? Like, how do they stop the TA from doing damage? I'm trying to think of how they can actually start the fight. Do they want to kite the TA? Kiting the TA is actually probably the best idea. But now she has a force staff on the TA too, so that's probably not that great of an option for her. And then you have this Lycan running around in the fight. They have no blade mails.
Yeah, they're about to get one, I believe, on the Clockwork. He's getting close to that. Loda, in the meantime, has been able to farm himself up a heart. So armlet, heart, very tanky, hard to kill off. At least in my eyes, maybe it's just you just pop that ulti immediately for CK and just run at him. Is that something that could work?
Maybe, but
if he gets lucky, I guess.
If you do it too early on the fight, they can just AoE it down with Boulder Smash, Ice Path, Dual Breath, Macro Pirate. Even like all these spells are very good at killing the illusions quite quickly, and not to mention like the attack speed slow too from Jakiro is going to be very significant combined with Liquid Fire and Dual Breath.
Oh, a little unlucky there for Alliance. SamH able to jump away. Tim's getting the blink away as well. Will to make the escape. They haven't been able to catch on to one. This is Rubik caught out away from the rest of his team, and he's going to end up falling before he can even cast a spell. Oh, Alliance, you need to be careful now. They're converging. They want to take this fight. Tim's goes in, gets the Boulder Smash and the stun. Magnetize as well. They're not going to bring him down as of yet. Still running away, able to reapply that Magnetize yet again. Loda still very tanky in all of this, but he's lost the majority of his illusions now, and, well, there's going to be the jump out from Raven. Gets stunned, but they still can't manage to find any damage onto him. They just need to get out of this fight to the best of their abilities. Still chasing here. Cuckoo jumps forward, goes onto Handskin, brought down to nothing in an instant, and, well, the stun to turn it back around. Force Staff to save the day. SamH not going to be brought down.
They're doing a really good job of kiting Loda. His illusions died very quickly in the fight. Raven, no armlet on.
Blade Mail as well. Can they bring him down? They're not going to be able to do it. Yes, they do. They find the kill with the stun. In the meantime, SamH goes down as well.
Yep, a little bit too deep. No Aegis, no Cheese, no BKB. They just didn't have a good exit plan. And Jonas Fanny's really good at hookshotting at the perfect time.
They've been playing this quite well. I mean, both sides, as far as it's concerned, it's been a little bit rough over the past couple minutes for Alliance, and I feel like now TNC do have a lot of the answers for what Alliance have been throwing their way. The Blink Dagger on Earth Spirit in particular, that seems like it's making a lot of the difference.
They need to be able to kill the Lina. Lina has to die early on in the fight. She does way too much damage and has way too much control from a very long range with the Aether Lens. So she's very fragile and does a lot if left alone. Kind of your ideal target for killing first.
Yeah. And maybe it's just, again, that vision game that you end up needing to play. Only take a fight if you know where the Lina is beforehand and can find it with the Bat Rider, maybe?
Perhaps, perhaps. This time, Alliance seemed a little bit prepared as to how to deal with Roche. They're setting up right around the 8-minute mark post-spawn, and they know that they cannot let TNC get a free win. And they did luck out last time by Jonas and Fan being able to hookshot in past 3 heroes and the Wolves and steal the Aegis. And next time, they probably won't be so fortunate.
Rubik has stolen Meld as well. Kind of an interesting little pickup there, but allow him to maybe stay alive in the fights. They're not going to be expecting an invis here, that's for sure.
Yeah, and combine that with a minus armor from Weave and the Chaos Knight Reality Rift, heroes could be dying in 2-3 hits potentially with crits.
Do also have that Dragonlance done now for TA. It's coming out to it right now. Needs to be a little bit careful when there's going to be a blink away. Maybe looking for a hook.
Nah, he doesn't care. He has Force Staff.
Okay. Will remain safe for the moment. Alliance just content to farm out their side of the map. You've got TA traps as well. They're in the Roche pit, so TNC should be able to scout if there's any movement into that direction. As everybody just trying to get into that next set of items to help them secure that Roche. And it does feel like that's one of the defining moments of this game. Like, if you take down Roche, you're in a much better position to siege high ground. Like, if TNC get it pretty much scot-free, can they just go immediately at that point?
Still a lot more room they need to take, and pushing is very, very dangerous versus the Alliance lineup when repositioning tools like Cogs, Pushback, and Reality Drift are involved. So I don't think they're so bold as to push high ground. However, if Alliance get the cheese with Lina getting the Aegis and CK getting the cheese, oh my goodness, they are going to be so difficult to kill. I feel like it would benefit Alliance a lot more than TNC right now, but TNC have a way better shot of actually taking the Roche.
Yeah. Well, there's the Ags done on Lina as well now, so more ways just blow somebody up at the start of the fight. You also have the BKB completed for Lycan.
She needed the HP badly.
Oh, this is an interesting way to start this, pulling the clockwork forward. You do have Cuckoo there. Blade Mail's already been popped, and well, it's going to missing a little bit of a hook shot going out there as well. So Jonas burning still. Is he just going to die? They end up finding the kill. Lift up with that Yule Scepter. Cuckoo going to be lifted again by EGM. He's just up in the air all the time. Stunned as well. Force Staff back. But they still managed to kill off that clockwork and no buyback. That's a path to Roche.
Yeah, it was a little bit awkward, but it was even more awkward when Dazzle didn't grave him because he didn't think he was going to die, which is kind of fair. He assumed that they didn't have vision up the hill, but they did.
Now, it does look like the TNC team are actually going to back out, respecting the team fight of Alliance. And this is a team that's, you know, they played against each other on LAN before WESG. Both teams now, I think, pretty experienced as far as making sure they don't end up throwing away a game.
They wasted the CK illusions, though. That's really bad. That's a significant source of their damage in the team fight. And now CK becomes a lot more manageable without it. Not that they can just straight walk in a Roche, I think, without it, but Clockwork has Rocket Flare available if he needs to defend the Roche, which I think he needs to, or else Cuckoo can just solo Roche.
Taking a look at these offlaners here, both have gotten a good amount done in this game so far. Feels like the team fights really hinge upon their performance and initiation, but you have a chance for it now. Sam H is sort of guarding the way along this. There are some wolves out, it looks like, across the map, trying to block any potential hooks that are coming in. Where's that initial fight? Do you think that, oh, there it is. Catch on to Loda, try and bring him down at the start of it. Can they actually do it? They're trying to zone with the macro pyre. There's going to be the BKB pop for Loda, and that might signal TNC back off.
He did not even need a BKB there.
Okay, well, they pull back in now. The TA, Laguna Blade comes out. That is just a dead Cuckoo. Limp trying to run away. Raven, the big bad wolf, chasing him out away from this one. But he was only able to bring down that Dazzle. Meld stolen, saved Rubik's life.
CK is really hard to take down right now. They don't have the damage to take him down. I think even if they chain stun him, he can just walk away with Grave at some point too, and they have to throw everything at him in order to burst him down. He has like 4,000 HP with Armlet up. I'm surprised he doesn't have Armlet on. It's very common to just permanently keep it on.
Yeah, that's insane. He is such a hard hero to deal with, and again, just thinking about it, all it is the Armlet, Heart, and a BKB.
He's not the lasso target.
No.
That's definitely not the play from Sam H. You lasso anyone else, I would say. And just make sure you kill the Phantasm Illusions or kite them with like Ghost Scepter or Force Staff or Yules or whatever you have, and then you just kite the single illusion, which is much easier to do.
Well, Sam H is going to have Firefly back up and thinking about using it as well. They do drop down a Sentry Ward, seeing that there is a little bit of vision in this area as Flamebreak is going to go in. Might have to go for a Roche play here. Clockwork also has vision in the area as well, so could go for a counter initiation if he sees that Firefly come out. Limp scouting as well. They'll be able to get that takeaway of the ward. Can they actually take this fight here, TNC, to come and contest?
They need to. You can't just give out Roche for free like that. They can just wait for the heart regen on Loda. He's already at full HP again. And they can re-go, but no one can leave the pit right now. It's at like 25% HP. You leave it alone for 10 seconds, it will die.
And Jonas as well, trying to get blocked out by these Wolves of Raven. He's doing a good job of messing with them. They need to go in right now in a second to come and take this. They almost flame break Loda out of the pit currently. Tim's still scouting this out here. They're taking Roche pretty quickly, and Kuku going to be able to jump forward as well. Limp is there to try and scout this out and see if he can force them back, but now seeing the Wolves in here as well.
They need to buy time for this weave to wear off. It's halfway up already. This is like the worst time to fight if you're TNC.
Roche bashes are certainly helping, as well as the stuns coming in from the Earth Spirit. Weave almost gone now. They can take that fight afterwards. You still can't initiate onto Loda, though, and, well, there's going to be the hook shot, and he catches onto 2. The pushback as well. TA is up on the high ground. He's going to be able to blink after the fact, though. They seal TA traps, trying to get the lift up here as well. Roche is still standing. They haven't been able to take it down yet, but with Lycan and Batrider gone, TNC, they just need to escape.
Yep, that's really bad that Lycan just died without even using BKB, but one of the benefits of having a Luna with the caster build, Lina, rather.
So Roshan goes to Alliance, and you said that this could be incredibly detrimental for TNC.
They have no solution to CK right now. They're not even building like Maelstroms, let's say, to deal with the potential that he could be big.
Now, I mean, you can't ignore this guy. Like, that's the other thing. Usually the idea when somebody's tanky is just, all right, we're going to kite him away, but Reality Rift, he just blows everybody the hell up. For TNC now, oh, Jesus. They've ended up catching Kuku as well, trying to force Blink away. Does make that escape. But it looks like they're ready to push this. Do Alliance need to be worried about anything? What's like the terror scenario that goes wrong for their team fight?
Lassoed in the fountain.
Okay. Lassoed in the fountain. I guess they have some force staffs. Maybe it would work.
And Boulder Smash.
Okay.
It's not out of the question, but I think the fountain is pretty much the only damage output that can actually deal with Loda at this point.
We did hear people talking about the terror of going into high ground through the mid lane. I don't know if it's going to end up being that big of a deal, though. Loda pulled back in, force staffed out. Fine as all hell, though. And, well, they drop down the macro pyre. They're still doing a lot of damage. They are starting to bring them low. A really good ice path comes out, but they end up stealing it. EGM, then now Raven chasing him down. Loda gets scraped at the last second, but they're killing off all the rest of Alliance. Triple kill for Raven. Looking for more. He's hungry for it. And Ultra down. And can he get the Rampage? Yes, sirree. They kill off Loda, and now he's going to be coming back in a second with the Aegis. Round 2, Loda pops the BKB. Everybody else is dead. They block him off with the Wolves and the rest of the heroes. This guy is stuck in no man's land, pops the ulti, tries to get away. Samage able to make the escape. TNC with a fabulous fight. Don't fight mid on high ground.
Wow, they like killed everyone during the respawn time of CK. He didn't pop his BKB, which that's such a tough call from Loda. If he pops his BKB, they're probably all just run away and reset, but I don't think he could have foresaw that his whole team was just going to get wrecked because he didn't BKB.
Yeah, it's such a tough situation to be in, and, well, now you're in an even tougher situation. You're going to need to buy back at this point. You have 45 seconds with Loda dead. In the end, the Aegis ends up hurting somewhat a little bit more, maybe. So now they can immediately go back in. He's gone for a while. Well, there's the jump in. They pull back in one. Rubik is gone. It's a long time now. 50 seconds with no Rubik. They're losing this tier 3 tower.
And potentially Rex.
No, Alliance have made the decision. They're not going to buy back on the CK, and you can't turn around at this point and think anything else. I don't know. At that point, like, what is it that ended up going so wrong in that team fight for Alliance that even with Aegis, with, you know, having cheese on him as well?
They don't have a tower hitter. That's the biggest problem right now. CK did have his Phantasm Illusions up. It's Lina went for the caster build. The caster build has served her pretty well. Like, she's been able to hit some really good light strike arrays. She yules from super far away, and she can stay kind of at range from TA. But the downside to that is you can't hit towers at all. You don't have the plus damage, or you don't have the attack range talent, I would say, more importantly, from Lina. So you can't attack from downhill very, very safely. And the thing that they used in the other game was a Clockwork Rocket. They used Clockwork Rocket to get vision on the high ground so the SF could hit. But this game, it's CK. CK's a melee range hero. They even got the interrupt on the lasso, double force staff back. They tried to lasso him back into the T4s, but
Limp maybe in some trouble now. They have the BKB pop. Pull back in Limp. He is gone. And, well, if Alliance aren't careful, they might end up losing some more here. Lycan is still pushing along the top lane, so he can't be there for this fight. And it looks like with that, TNC are going to decide to not chase Alliance.
yeah, the CK is still very, very strong. They just need to make sure that they can isolate him and like either make him waste his illusions or get him low enough to the point where his team is going to be in a really compromised position trying to save him.
A little bit unfortunate there. Alliance smoked underneath a TA trap, and Tims has an Invis rune as well to break the smoke that they knew was coming. TNC dotting their I's, crossing their T's, and leading by 8,000 net worth at this point in the game. I mean, it's sort of been a very back and forth one as far as who has the momentum, but it feels like this vision from TNC is allowing them to sort of stay in the lead and not give away it.
Yeah, they're really limiting the CK's damage output at this point. Wolves on everyone. Constantly just been hounding Loda, hounding the rest of the Alliance crew, and they can't make maneuvers without smokes. It's a big issue.
So for TNC here, do you decide to wait it out for a little bit, get into that third Roche? The last Roche fight didn't go that great for them.
You need a gem. I think you need a gem to take out the Wolves in the TA traps. Once you get the gem, you can actually go for some plays and make the Batrider think twice about lassoing people. But right now, TNC feels so free around the map.
Yeah. And in the meantime, Loda is getting into a Manta style as well, which obviously getting more of those illusions out. They're already big, tanky, and hard to kill off, deal a ton of damage. You can get more of them out. It's going to be quite a hard thing to deal with. As, well, TNC, they certainly have a building hitter. It's position 5 Jakiro.
That's the great thing about Jakiro lineups.
Well, let's see if he can actually get out of here. The stun comes out. Double force stab to try and save the day. Pushback as well. Pops the drums. Loda's going to be able to reality rift again. The boulder smash. Everything that they can do to try and keep this guy alive. Tim's just going to roll away while Clockwork finds the kill with that rocket flare. He hit the tower twice. It's okay. It's worth it.
Worth. And no one chain fed after he died, like last game.
I mean, is this Jakiro just the thing that's the glue that's holding this all together? As oh, we do have actually a lasso down here bottom. They're able to pull back in Limp, and Raven here as well. Good Yule Scepter up by Limp to try and save him for the moment, and they are going to succeed in that regard. And now the hook shot in. Finding one. Raven is caught here. They have Loda in the area. Laguna Blade comes out, but he pops the BKB, turns to run, and should be able to escape.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Cuckoo's deep. He's really deep.
Yeah, he's taking down those tier 3 towers. Top lane. See if we can get up there now, and it does look like he's going to be able to bring it down to about half HP. In the meantime, TNC just going to push out bottom again, like clockwork.
That T3 took a lot of damage. It's at a third HP right now.
So, God, TA is huge as well. Deso, Blink, Hurricane Pike, BKB, and 6,700 gold on top of that.
Still really bad versus Phantasm, though.
Okay.
Regardless of positioning, regardless of BKB usage, still very, very bad against the Phantasm.
So then in your eyes, do you go for like a build that allows you to tank up at all against the damage that's coming, or is that irrelevant? You just instead go for something that allows him to blow up first and foremost at the start of the fight?
You want to blow up the Dazzle as soon as possible, which I think like a Bloodthorn is really good at.
Okay. Well, he certainly is getting towards the amount of money we'll be able to have that. Obviously want to save for buyback as well in these engagements. It's like for now, this is something we've seen from 1437 a couple times. Because of the low cooldown on the spell, just throw out the macro pyre, kill off creep waves, and annoy the carry.
All good plans.
Yeah.
Money to burn.
Another hook shot going in here towards the bottom. They found Tims again, but this guy rolls away pretty quickly. We'll be able to just blink after the fact.
Ah, the sad life of a Clockwork. You can't farm that fast, and everyone at this point
Oh,
has
He had eggs.
What?
He's chasing. Tim's going to kick away. He wants to run and is going to be able to go for it. Jonas, unfortunately, not able to throw out another hook. I mean, Ags makes a pretty big difference in these engagements, too.
Yeah, especially because they need the anti-BKB.
So, state of the game is certainly TNC leading the way. You said they need the gym. It's actually going to be a butterfly picked up for the TA. So I guess just respecting the ways to burn through refraction or something with the right clicks.
What did you expect?
Well, you
Oh,
said
the
Bloodthorn.
Bloodthorn. Yeah, Bloodthorn is good if you want to blow it to Dazzle, but it looks like he is going to try and itemize a little bit better versus the CK. Wants to stay alive during the BKB. CK, one of the best heroes at chewing through BKBs. Very few heroes have the talents and or armor and HP to tank Phantasm Illusions.
This would be a big kill if they could get it. Refraction is actually down. That's TA dead. That is a huge pickup, and Loda's the one that got the kill. I don't know if they're going to get anything more off the back of this, but
Roach is up in 30 seconds, so looks like they should be able to. Jonas the fan with another hook shot.
yeah, pushing back 14:37. Yule Scepter lift up, but that is going to be the kill again. And they stole Ice Path as well. Another big pickup there. And it's going to help them in that Roche fight if it does even end up happening.
They're going to check.
Sam H in the meantime can push out along the bottom here. If you're TNC, do you think about buying back to defend Roche if it ends up coming to that?
They're not in Roche. I don't really know.
Wow, they found another one. Jonas has just been playing out of his mind on this Clockwork, and Raven forced to pop this BKB. Loda is sort of chasing here, but
Now, definitely not.
okay.
With no BKB on Lycan, I think you just have to concede it.
Dire's bottom
But they're
tower
doing a
is
good
under
job of
attack.
wasting their time. Alliance are TPing over to the right side of the map, and Roshan will be left untouched.
Limp able to find that kill there onto Tim's, so a quick pick off as he was going for the split push. And now in towards Roshan. They don't have their Lina, like you said, and doesn't have the TP there for a little bit, but no chance to move in. So Alliance, they get Roche. They're going to have this nice timing where they get a little bit of more acceleration into their items. Where do you see them going with this? Do you just like try and go down bottom and see what comes of that? Or like how worried are you the split push?
You're not too worried about the split push. I guess unless it's top lane, because that T3 is already kind of low, but the other lanes, not so much. Mid-Rax is already down, whatever. Bottom lane is in a very good spot if you're Alliance. I don't really think there's that many big items that you're waiting for.
Sean has fallen to the Dire.
As this game goes on, do you think it just becomes a more pronounced advantage for Alliance, where like if they end up, you know, throwing away a lead right here in a bad team fight like last time, they get TNC back more into the game?
Kind of. TNC still have no way to deal with Phantasm.
Yeah.
No way, no how.
Well, they're smoked up right now, looking for a freebie. It doesn't look like Alliance want to give it to them, as they are heading down towards the bottom side of the map, and immediately TNC moving towards mid to try and get this push on. But God, they can't even deal with the like regular illusions, not even the hero in Reality Rift eventually.
Time to get Dagons?
Ooh, I like that. Maybe that's the build. Well, Alliance. It might smell that something is coming their way. Here towards the north, it looks like Cuckoo is going to be maybe scouted out if they end up throwing out a flare. He's very exposed at this point, and well, there's going to be the jump in. He does still have Blink after the fact. He's going to be able to force Staff away for the moment. Can jump out after the fact as well. Looks like Loda just going to back out after. He pop Phantasm?
Radiant's bottom
Looks like it.
tower is under attack.
I got to get something with this now.
My graphics are flipping out.
Uh-oh.
Radiant's bottom tower is falling.
Yeah, it looks like you got some crazy stuff going on on your screen. But we're on this one. You can see that it's going to be the Dazzle ulti. We've popped on top of the heroes, heading up for high ground, all sorts of illusions to start dealing the damage. And they're actually sending a couple of them in towards mid as well. And Cuckoo, nowhere to be found. Well, Loda had to TP back home because they were split pushing the mid lane. They took a whole, I mean, it's just, you keep that pressure on. It's scary.
Uh-oh. Keep on going.
Okay. Looks like you're having a little bit of trouble getting back into the game, but it will be fine. So 28 to 22, that mid lane taken earlier. Got TNC moving out now with the smoke as 5.
They need to hope they don't find CK.
Oh, well, they found CK. There's the stun. EGM 4-staff. The ice path comes out, but they're still able to pull him back in. They still don't have enough damage to burst through this guy, though. Maybe with Raven here, they will. They're running him down, trying to find that kill. The Grave comes out. Also, Jonas there as well to try and break this up. The Meld Strike comes through the right click. They find the kill. Lip now also under control. EGM doing his best, but look at this guy. Raven all over him. Can they actually burst through it, though? Don't have any more defusal charges on Raven. Now chasing down Lita. They don't have really anything else to try and break this out, and a double kill comes out for Raven.
I thought they were more prepared for that. They were like in a pretty good position to help him out. It seemed. Like normally you have a clockwork hook shot to interrupt it so that he can BKB before he gets all this damage onto him.
Well, and now they're sieging high ground. 4-staff pushing around Cuckoo a hell of a lot, and they end up pushing him back in again, but the 4-staff play from TNC keeps on saving him. Silence up the clockwork. He is not going to die, though. Lena's still dead for 60 seconds here, and Raven caught in the pain train. Can he get out? It looks like they're going to be able to. Still, everybody brought very low. Jonas wanting to chase this. They turn to fight a little bit more, just force him back. He's going to have hookshot back up shortly.
They have got to get out of there. Tim's with another Earth Spirit play. Pretty good, pretty good.
Oh my God. Off the mark there as well. So Alliance not able to fully capitalize on that very heavy extension. They bought back as well.
Not a good sign.
Well, Fusel Blades there for Raven. I thought he didn't have any more charges, but it looks like he has 6 still, so I guess just didn't pop it there for the Rubik.
They need a level 25 on the CK. I think once you get Reality Rift Pierce's magic immunity, you can just blow up the TA. Who cares?
Yeah.
You can easily pop the refracting charge and then you just throw a Laguna on him or just right-click him.
Did you feel? To me, it feels like the Raven is the one that's dealing like the majority of the damage as well.
Raven?
Yeah. Oh. Just ended up hookshotting and to get a little bit further away from trouble. But TNC getting ready to mount another aggressive here towards the bottom lane. Just try and see if they can maybe. I mean, that's the weird thing about this. Like, they're 12,000 net worth up, but it still feels like at certain points it's hard to deal with the CK unless Raven does it throughout the course of his BKB and ulti.
Maybe if they have more damage coming out from the THD. He has Veil right now. No Ags yet, but like, as CK, it's very hard to micro your illusions out of the macro pyre. And even if you do, you will still lose out on a ton of damage. It might not even be worth it for him to like get out of the macro pyre.
Yeah. Well, movement up towards top now as they keep these lanes pushed out. Jakiro is pressuring the bottom lane as well, cutting through those creep waves. While Alliance, I mean, this is what the Batrider gives you, Ro, right? It's just like you feel so afraid as Alliance to move out and even defend against the creeps that are pressuring your, high ground.
Yep. That's how they did so much structural damage on top lane. The CK was a little bit too far out, but he really wants his 25. He's halfway to 25 from level 24. I'm pretty sure it's a Reality Rift Pierce's Magic Immunity game.
And he sold his Midas as well. That might have helped him get there a little bit quicker. I think that was recent, though, as well, to finish off the AC. Which does make a bit of a difference there as well. Earth Spirit, Aghanim Scepter. We've already seen Tim's do a ton with this hero even before Aghanims, but now having that ability to enchant Remnant, no more Geomagnetic Grip pulling allies, but it's still going to be a lifesaver.
Yeah, I wonder how he's going to use it in the fight. Like, if someone gets Grave, you can just stone them,
right,
and then they're just going to die immediately after. Or you can try and stone kick someone so far away that they can't get Graved. You can try and stone someone who's getting focused by CK during a stun and all the Phantasm illusions being on him. There's a lot of stuff that Tim's going to do with this.
I mean, even stoning Loda, like you said, and kicking him away could be quite valuable, like kicking him up onto a high ground or something. But it's all going to depend upon the position and his ability to make those reactions in time. And if there's a guy to do it, it's certainly him. It's been hell of a stellar game. Going back for the E-Blade as well, that would be a really cool pickup. So 31 to 22, 52 minutes into it. It's a 14,000 net worth lead for TNC, who are feeling like they've been at times way ahead and then a little bit behind. Next couple of minutes as we get ready for this Roshan to respawn. I guess vision again is like the predominant thing in Alliance. They just don't really have any great ways to make that type of, advantage around the map. Can't really do it.
Yeah, just Clockwork hook shot, but that gives away your positioning. And it's very obvious.
Dire's top barracks
So-
are under attack.
I guess the big thing that I'm wondering as well is that, like, when they get that 25 on CK, which it looks like they might have before the Roche fight, does that allow them to blow up? Like, you use that on the TA exclusively, or do you think it's worth it to try and bring down the Lycan?
It's a really tough call because of the Earth Spirit in the game. If there weren't Earth Spirit in the game, you could easily do it because there's no defensive capabilities during like a BKB rush down. But because they have the pull, and because they have the Stone Remnant, and because they have like, I don't even know how many Force Staffs, it's going to be really difficult to be able to all-in someone at the start of the fight. So, yeah, things are not going to be that clean cut.
I mean, in a certain way, like for TNC, it almost makes it worse popping BKB because you're not going to be able to enchant Remnant that person, since that doesn't pierce BKB as well. So you could end up being in a situation where BKB ends up killing you. So, Limp, he's built into a Lincoln Sphere as well. I guess just mainly for that Batrider. Could throw it also onto Loda in the midst of that engagement, as Alliance are going to move for a smoke now. They do have the middle of the map fairly well controlled, and if Cuckoo's not careful, he could get caught out here.
Dire's
They
top
have vision. There's the hook shot in. They're going to be able to push him back with the cogs as well, trying to find him, but he has been able to blink to the south. The chase is there,
barracks
but
has
not good enough.
visibility. Dire's top barracks are under attack.
In the
Gotta be
meantime,
careful.
Batrider's in the pit.
TNC is trying to exert some lane presence right now. They need to be able to threaten top racks. If they threaten top racks, they can easily do Roche, I would say very, very quickly. Oh my god.
Batrider just gets brought down. Sam H was in the wrong position, and they end up exploiting it. Like, you end up TPing Lina back to the bottom lane as well to push it out, but, I mean, you have to buy back here, right? Or do you think that they're not going to go for Roche?
I don't think they can. They have lane issues right now. But, yeah, it looks like CK is already heading over there, and he can do Roche very, very easily. The thing is, can you actually kill it without him?
14.
Wow, even with the battery assault damage, it's still not particularly good for him.
I mean, they have to know that Roche is going on at this point, and Wolves are going in just to make double sure. This is a really tough situation now because you don't want to expend the buybacks at this late stage of the game, 55 minutes into it, but they might just need to. CK did get that 25. Did he end up going for that Reality Rift talent?
Wasn't checking.
Okay.
Oh, left is Reality Drift, so
Okay.
yes.
Roshan
Well,
has
there's
fallen
Roche.
to
They
the
hold on to their buybacks now, I guess still believing in their ability to hold. And I guess if you end up not buying back at that point as well, and you just lose the game potentially if you get killed off.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be easy for them because they didn't use any big cooldowns when they fought last time. It was just a Manta illusion, not Phantasm illusions, that killed him in the mid. And Manta illusions again, he's being way more judicious about his illusion usage.
Radiant's middle
Tim's
tower
ends up,
has
or the
been
Cuckoo ends up
destroyed.
denying the tower in the mid lane. So they will take down the tier 3. This opens up shrines. Clockwork has an E-Blade now as well to help keep his allies alive against that damage coming in. And
It's going to be really tough for BKB users on TNC. You got to BKB the E-Blade. You want to BKB the Chain Suns that's coming out. You want to BKB like the Cogs so you don't get bounced back constantly. But I think if they don't kill either CK or Lina during the BKBs, they're going to have a really hard time winning the fight.
And I mean, now also, like we were talking about, that Lincoln Sphere makes it even harder to blow up one of those targets. So, a tough game certainly for TNC at this point with the Aegis on hand for Alliance.
It looks like Loda was going for a refresher.
Ah. Seems like it might be kind of cool. I mean, allow him to pretty much always have that stuff up. Has the DD rune as well. So, God, the crit for 1500 just casually.
And he lifesteals too. He just needs to be able to attack in the fight.
Yeah. almost wonder if it'd be worth it for one of these teams to pick up a Heaven's Halberd. So much of the damage is just predicated upon right clicks. So TNC maybe looking to find a target here. Sam H is in the area. They're going to jump forward, find the clockwork at the start of it. BKB popped as well. Macro Pyre down. He is gone. Loda now trying to take this chase as well. Is he going to be able to run these heroes down? I don't think so. They're backing out. They're fine. They've caught Tim's, but he is going to be able to roll away for the moment. And Sam H brought so low, 37 HP. But that Ice Path will save the day again. So they find a pickoff. 70 seconds, no clock. TNC buying time.
That was a good jump on the clock. He didn't think they'd go on him, but TNC are very, very good about the target selection. That's why you need the CK up in front.
A mysterious
Yeah. I mean, who expects that, right? Like, you move in for that pick-off play right there as the Aegis is already on Alliance, and I guess it just speaks to how quickly they can burst through these heroes of Alliance.
I think that's always been TNC's greatest strength, though, is like really very, very quickly and cleanly executed ganks. That should be team fights, but because they kill people so fast, it doesn't erupt into anything more, and they just get stuff for free. But there are power runes just everywhere now. You'll see.
Oh my god, another pullback. This is going to end up being a dead Rubik. They throw out the Glimmer Game a bit too late as well, and now trying to find more. This is Loda in some trouble as well. Immediately as the buyback comes, they will decide to run away. TNC still long stun duration there onto the TA. Pull him back in. The Ice Path is down as well as the Macro Pyre, and well, in a little bit of trouble now. They haven't been able to burn through Cuckoo's refraction charges. Still staying surviving in this. A ton of damage out on the Lycan, bringing them low. They are going to be able to find that kill. He was stunned forever. They end up blocking the roll as well from Tim's, but the Force Staff is going to keep him alive. That means they don't have any more to save the TA, though. Is she going to be able to get out of here? Has Blink back up in a second, but no, it's not going to be in time. TA killed off, brought down. They do a buyback. You don't want to have to expend it at this stage in the game. And it looks like Jakiro is also going to most likely fall. Tries to go for the Force Staff and run away, but the Cogs push is going to secure the kill onto the captain.
Messy, messy fight. They were kind of torn as to whether or not they should go in deep for that melee Rex or whether they should try and finish the heroes off. And they kind of half committed, I would say. Maybe a little bit more commitment to the Rex, but they didn't even end up taking that down.
I wonder if Jakiro bought back here just to throw down a Macro Pyre. He might have it back up in a little bit.
He can stall easily without Macro Pyre, but yeah, he's the one that needs to be there early on in the fight. But if he gets Blink Strike or Hook Shot, he's very likely dead without his two other cores.
There's Phantasm popped. Loda ready to start taking these objectives. He's spreading out his illusions, 3 up to the top, and just look at the damage they're doing to that tower. Doesn't get any bonus armor because there aren't any heroes around it. In the meantime, they can try to focus down these barracks here in the mid lane. They're not really committing almost anything to this, and they're getting structural damage here.
So much for illusion damage on buildings being nerfed. It's just CK does so much damage with illusion, especially with his mass strength build that he has.
Yeah. So tier 3 tower brought down to very low HP in the top lane. They get some chip damage, but no kill on the barracks mid.
No buyback on TA though. So TA can just be their all-in target. They have good anti-BKB and they have good pre-BKB too with the Clockwork Hook Shot.
Yeah. Cheese is there for the clock also. A hero that's a little bit tough to bring down, might have been able to, turn the tide of a fight if he does manage to get that off before he pops. So as far as TNC are concerned, for them, who do you feel like is like the highest priority target? Is it the Dazzle in these fights, or do you try and go after the Clockwork again?
I think Dazzle. It just depends on how far away the Dazzle can be separated. Because last fight he was pretty far away, and he wasn't able to grade the clock in time. Because if he grades the clock, he can cheese out of it, which is completely okay. And then he can keep on owning the fight. Dazzle, I would say, is by far the easiest, but I don't think they're going to be able to actually get him. He has Glimmer, but no Blink, no Force Staff.
Yeah. He's been doing a great job this game of positioning himself where he can usually get those off. And that's hard in this type of a game with Earth Spirit, TA, Bat Rider, all the... Abyssal Blade is done now for the Lycan. Again, it's sort of, how do you deal with that? I guess you use that pretty much exclusively on the Lina to blow her up unless you can isolate which one is the real CK.
Yeah, I suppose so.
They need more Dagons, dude. Oh my god, Jakiro's level 25. What did he go for?
Ice Path duration.
Oh, okay. That's pretty great. So it's a, what, 2 point, or is it 3.75?
3.75 is correct.
Yeah. That's so much disable.
If he doesn't die.
Yeah. He's been landing pretty good ones so far. As long as, I mean, to me, that feels like it's Alliance's main target now almost. Maybe not.
Possibly, but let's say people are stuck in Ice Path constantly. It doesn't matter if they don't take any damage.
Right.
So TA, Lycan, I still think are the highest priority targets.
Okay.
Dire's top barracks are
Well,
under
Howl
attack.
popped again in towards mid. It looks like there's some action going on as they're chasing down Cuckoo, trying to kill him off. BKB pop, Refraction not up for again. Another 3 seconds, and getting ran down is still living through this. Gets the Refraction back up. E-Blade is there as well. I don't know if they're going to be able to actually blow up this Clockwork without the TA damage. Now it comes in. They're going to be able to run him down, but the Grave is there yet again. Now trying to chase for more. You have the stun, you have the sheep, but the 4 steps away. They keep their TA alive. Well, that Clockwork is dead, but still your base. They're all dying. They end up taking down one of the lanes of barracks, and there's the lift up onto Raven, trying to bring him down, but they have been able to find another kill. So 2 dead, 4 Alliance so far, as everybody from TNC trying to find the other kills to make this turn back around. Another kick nicely done to bring Loda back in, pops the Manta style, trying to run away, seeing if they can actually kill down and take down Sam H, but the 4 step to the low ground, yet again, Loda going to be caught and most likely going to die.
That Orchid is doing a lot of work, or the Bloodthorn rather.
Really well done, and now they're going to be forcing a couple of different buybacks. They'd love to be able to hold on to the CK1 here, if at all possible. Refresher picked up for the bat. I don't know if they're going to be expecting that one. But it might be too hard to actually make a move, and it looks like they're going to be content with just the 2 buybacks and now moving in towards Roche. DD on the outside as well.
At this point, you probably wonder whether or not he should have bought back, because they wouldn't be able to do Roche if he's up. But, so would you rather fight 4v6? Or sorry, 5v6, 5v7, or kind of 4v5 right here? It's a really tough call. I guess you have the sanctity of your base and the shrines and better vision up there. Well, so it's not quite even numbers.
Well, he's still dead another 60. Like, if TNC go, it's still going to be 4 on 6 then also, right? That could be. I mean, do you, if you're TNC at this point, do you think about trying to take advantage of this moment?
Definitely, if you can. Especially depending on what runes you get. Just more and more DDs constantly. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you know that one of them's going to be there at each of those spawns. This new timing, 65 minutes in. And, oh, this is the play. TNC did this before, and look at Alliance. They're like, we don't want any part of this. And Cuckoo just pops the DD, turns to fight, burning through backdoor protection like it ain't there at all.
That takes a lot of discipline to do if you're Alliance, though. I completely respect their decision to sit inside the fountain, especially when you're up against a Bat Rider. Things are just very, very difficult when the fight is not taken on your terms. And with their base wide open like that, there's very few places that they can actually take a fight without the smoke popping.
Yeah. Well, it is still the TA who stands above all pretty much. As far as sort of lead in this game, it certainly feels like TNC are the ones that are dictating the pace of it, but there's still trouble dealing with that CK. How do you see the next couple minutes going for them? What's the game plan now?
Firstly
for
is make sure TA has buyback. Her
Okay.
buyback's on cooldown for, I think, a couple more minutes. And once she has buyback, I think you can actually do something. But right now, I think it's way too high of a risk of her dying. Loda hasn't been particularly good about holding his reality rift.
Oh,
for
God.
the BKB.
They found him. Lycan is going to be the one caught out. They bring him down to half HP. They throw out the Ice Path as well. Loda trying to take him down. They have been able to find that kill, but he's coming back in just a second now. Still Grave is there for the Rubik, keeping him alive as well. Turning onto Loda, trying to bring him down. They get the Abyssal Blade off. Tims is there as well with the Magnetize. Tries to find the stun, the silence. Is it going to be enough? They get the Magnetize, continuing on to 3. they're sort of split up their attention between the two of them, and they find the ice path as well. Good force map into it, and another stun comes out. Tims has had all the control in the world. There are 4 dead for Alliance. They're buying back, but I don't know if they're going to be able to hold without their supports.
The illusions are just dying to the mass fire. It's crazy. They're just sitting in the macropie the whole time, and at the same time, TNC are just really good about dealing with the chain stun.
Oh, and the Axe there to keep him alive, but they have been able to find Sam H. TNC now trying to end this game. 67 minutes in. Raven, he gets reality rifted back in. The BKB is there, and it's going to keep him alive for the moment. So much stuns through it all, but it does look like indeed they're going to be able to do it. They take down 3. They lost Sam H, but I don't know if they care. They're chasing down now for Alliance, hungry for this victory. Raven chasing. They have the long duration stun from that ice path as well, and it looks like they are going to be able to find this kill onto Loda. Most likely, he's really tanky. Pops the shrine as well, but finally, baby, God, this guy is just armlet toggling and staying alive like it's nobody's business. I mean, can they actually get him down? Are they not going to find this kill?
Stop the heart regen.
They're keeping him out of it. They end up doing it, and Tims buys back, but still, this is going to be base falling, and Loda trying to run away. He is going to be able to live at least a little bit longer. I feel like it's a silver lining around a very dark cloud for Alliance as they're facing off against Mega Creeps at this point. Loda doing everything that he possibly can, trying to run away now and still going to be slowed. He turns, gets the stun, Reality Rift as well, just running away, trying to divide their tension. The silence comes out, the grave as well. Loda, the immortal one, finally kicked back in. Tims has had enough. He says no, stunned his team with his team, and they end up taking down Lim, and you can hear him over there. They are happy as clams, TNC, because they have Mega Creeps and most likely the game.
I think one of the biggest problems with CK right now is that his illusions just don't do well without BKB. Like, he needs BKB for his main hero, and then his illusions get kited with all the attack speed flow, the ice pass, the mass boulder smashes, and CK is a really, really weak hero when you can't actually do damage with the Phantasm. And again, like, the THD pick is just ridiculously strong. I think like, he didn't do that much in the early game, but later game, the Phantasms just looked really, really weak. And it's exceptionally good at kiting, and he even gets like that super strong talent level 25 with the AoE 3.75 second stun.
Yeah, it's absurd. And it was like, there were moments in that when it felt like CK hit this like really good timing. They were setting out illusion, stall the towers, taking high grounds and stuff, but it just didn't end up working out. In your eyes, do you feel like Alliance need to change something fundamentally with their draft, or was it more like playstyle things?
Always need a tower hitter. Yeah. I actually don't think they had a tower hitter to this game, because normally the CK's generally pretty good. You go in with your illusions and you just right-click the tower. But against their lineup that they had with like the Earth Spirit stun and then like the Flame Break back and the Napalm and the Firefly and all this stuff to actually kill the illusions, there wasn't actually a tower hitter. And that's where Alina's supposed to come into play. But Alina went for this caster build, which I don't fault her for. But in the draft, they have to find some way to hit towers. Or like they can do the Solar Crest Glimmer on the CK so that you don't actually need the illusions to siege. But that was the only part of their lineup that I think was sorely lacking. And it came into play when they were trying to break the high ground in mid, and just everything went catastrophically after he split all the illusions to take down all the T3s.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for game number 1. TNC take one over Alliance. We're going to head it back to the panel to see what they thought about it. Alan, what do you guys think?